Welcome into August of 1995, everyone. As always, we're starting off doing our morning chores. We've got 5 loads of feed we got to get hauled into all of our cattle, 3 loads up here, and we need to hit up 2 of our other lots. Then we need to sell off all of our milk, and after all of that's done, it's time to start chopping silage. So we're going to do probably 10 loads is my guess, and I'm pretty excited. Can't wait to get started into this fall with, after buying all these new fields. Everything is looking absolutely fantastic. Beans look great. Corn looks even better. So I cannot wait until October. But first, we have to get through the month of August. So we're going to start out by feeding all these cattle. Like I said, we got 5 loads to do. So we're going to get these done, and I'll catch up to you guys when we are ready to start selling our milk. All right, we've got 1,525 gallons of milk on, so we'll get this headed into the creamery, get it unloaded, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting it pulled into the creamery here, so we'll go ahead and get this unloaded. All right, we need to take $160 off. All right, so we're at $41,106. It's very, very good. So we're going to head in back to the home place here, get everything set up and ready to chop silage and get straight into chopping. Got a lot of chopping to do, and we also have alfalfa that we need to get mowed today and turned into bales for the last time of the year for our hay, so plenty of work to get done this month. All right, so we have everything set up, ready to go. We've got Grandpa in the chopper. I'm in the 7250 following behind him here. And we're going to chop up here in the home north field. Now, this is a kind of a smaller field, so it actually works out really well for chopping. We're going to do about 10 loads. We have, I think, right around 120,000 liters of silage still left over from last year. So 10 loads will be more than enough to get us through this year. However, in another year or two, I think we might be having to put up another silo in order to produce enough silage. As our cattle herds grow, we're definitely going to be going through that pretty fast. But we're going to go ahead and knock out these 10 cart loads here. So I'll catch up to you guys here in a bit. All right, this is our last trailer load into the silo. We've got 10 trailer loads in here. It went pretty quick. You can see it's about 10 o'clock in the morning. I'm super happy with how everything went. Grandpa did a pretty decent job this time running the chopper. Got a little bit of cleanup we'll need to do when we run our combine through the field, but all in all, not too bad. So we're going to get this unloaded, get all of our silage equipment cleaned up, put away, and then we can go ahead and start into mowing our alfalfa for the last time this year. And oh boy, is that chopper filthy. Yeah, that thing's oofta. That thing is absolutely disgusting. So, like I said, we'll get all this cleaned up and get ready to start mowing some alfalfa here. All right, well, I got the 856 hooked up to our rake, and I've got Grandpa in the field running the mower. He decided he wanted to stick around, do a little more work today. And I'm not going to complain about it. So he's going to run the mower, let him get ahead a little bit, and then I'll start raking basically right behind him once he gets a couple passes in. And definitely going to save a lot of time doing it this way. So I'll catch up to you guys here in a little bit, see how things are going. But they should go quite well with Grandpa sticking around to help me out here. All right, we're just finishing up raking here. You can see this rake does a wonderful job. And Grandpa's already in the other field getting it mowed down for us. So this is definitely going well. Definitely going a lot faster than it used to. Not having to ted and then rake is definitely making a huge difference. And being able to have Grandpa here to run the mower ahead of me is also making a huge difference. So he's already got a few passes done in that other field, so we should be able to jump right in and get to raking right away and not have to wait. Well, he's not quite there yet. But he's pretty close, so we're only going to have to wait a little bit here for him to finish up the pass that he's on here, because I do prefer to do the center of the field first and then do my end row last when it comes to raking. That way everything just looks a lot neater, a lot less random grass everywhere, and makes it obviously easier for baling. So we'll let him finish up that pass, and then we can get started into running the middle here. Basically just kind of follow him the rest of the way down the field, and then we'll end up finishing up with the end rows here. So with this rake, you do need to turn it on like you do, your combine or your planter or anything like that. Otherwise it won't work. But it works as tedder and rake, and you can see I've got it set up so that I can grab two of his swaths in one pass with the rake. So we can cover a lot of ground and get a lot raked up without having to cover every square inch of the field here. So we'll run this out, get switched over to the baler, and get to baling. And I don't think I've mentioned last episode when I baled, I thought I had ended up with way more bales than normal. It had been quite a while since I had baled over here, and I didn't. It was just our normal, what we've been getting. I thought we got a lot more, so I got excited for nothing really. But hopefully here in the near future we can expand our alfalfa operation, because I do believe hay sales are a good way to kind of run a second business kind of situation out of this farm here. So expanding our hay operation is something that I've definitely been thinking about and might consider doing here in the near future. All right, we're ready to start baling. Got the bale counter reset. Got it fired up, drop down, and we'll get to it here. Shouldn't take too long. And we made 85 bales the first cutting this year, and I'm guessing we're going to be right around that same number this time. All right, we're finishing up here in our first field. Not going to have enough to make another bale here, but that's okay. So we need to run to the store, actually. I completely forgot to buy more bale net. So I need to go pick up some more bale net before we jump into the second field here. But like I said, we've got 37 bales. Things are going well, minus, my forgetfulness of buying round bale net. You'd think this far into the game I'd be used to buying round bale net, but I am still terrible about remembering to purchase it. So we'll run to town, get it picked up, and we can get back to baling. All right, we're reloaded with a round bale net, so we'll go ahead and get back to baling here. So the goal is 85 bales or more, and I think we ended up with the exact same amount from the first field. I believe we had 37 last time, so we had 37 this time. Should be probably right at 85 bales total between the two fields here. All right, we got all of our baling done and ended up with 85 bales, just like I thought we would. So we'll go ahead and get this baler cleaned up, get the tractor cleaned up, get it prepped and ready for baling our straw here coming up in a couple of months, and go ahead and get all these bales picked up and put into our giant stack that we're currently accumulating here. Hey everyone, welcome into October. It's October of 1995, which means we are ready for harvest. But first, as always, we need to do our chores, and we've got a lot of chores to do. A lot of cattle to feed. Every single pen needs feed. And up here, we need to bring 4 loads of feed up here. I did not feed them enough, and they actually ran out of TMR last month. I don't think it affected the milk production, but definitely got to be a little bit more careful here. And make sure, I'm lined up correctly. There we go. Now we should be able to unload. Definitely need to make sure I'm more careful about making sure they have enough TMR. Now they do have some hay and silage left over from when I ran out of TMR a few years back. So they didn't run out of feed completely, but I've definitely got to do a better job of making sure they have enough food. Also, I was a moron last month and completely forgot to sell the milk, so we're going to have a really big milk sale this month. And that's also part of why we're down to 21,000 is I didn't sell milk last month. So we're sitting better financially than we currently look. Like I said, it's going to be a really big milk sale this year, or this month, not year, this month. So take that into consideration. But yeah, we've got, what, 4, 5, 7 loads we have to haul of feed before we can get started into our harvest. So we're going to do that, get these 7 loads taken care of, get our milk taken care of, and then we can jump into harvest. And it's going to be a big one. We added 2 new fields, technically 4 new fields, combined them into 2 separate fields. And yeah, we've got a whole bunch of acres. We're up, around 200 acres now. So that's very, very good. So we'll go ahead, get these loads of feed hauled here, and then sell our milk. All right, well, while I'm unloading our last feed wagon here, I guess I didn't even think to tell you guys that we've really expanded. So we're up to 93 cattle in this barn. That's partly why we ran out of TMR last month, was I didn't account for the extra cattle. Not a big deal, like I said, but, something, is very exciting. We're almost up to 100 cattle in this barn. So our herd is absolutely growing. And our pasture is really, really starting to fill out. As we take a look around here, you can see there's just a whole bunch of cattle out here in this pasture. Everybody's doing wonderfully. Now, we are starting to have some females that are born that are infertile. So I've had to keep a close eye. We've got 3 of them down in our fat cattle lot already. And I've got, I think, 1 more that's not quite ready to be weaned yet, but she's getting close. But I'm thinking that's a part of the update for the realistic livestock, because that was not an issue up until the update happens. So that is something I'm going to have to keep an eye on moving forward here. It's perfectly fine. In reality, if you have a set of twins and one's male, one's female, they are both infertile. So it's not that big of a deal, especially when I know that some of our cows are having multiple babies, that the females are infertile. So that is definitely right there with reality, just like the realistic livestock mod would suggest. So we've got 3 more loads of feed we got to get hauled over to our other corrals here. So we'll get those done and get back on schedule to hauling milk. All right, we're unloading over here in our Hereford pen. You can see it's filling up quite fast. Everybody's doing quite well, but just like our Holsteins, there's a couple of females in here that are not fertile. So they will have to be moved when they're ready to be weaned, and that's okay. But everything, like I said, is looking quite well over here. And we've got 2 more Herefords waiting to calve yet, and then they will be completely done. And I want to try and get these guys to calve in the spring instead of in the fall. So I will time that with moving the bull in later this year to make sure that we can kind of try and time that out a little better. So we won't have any pregnant cows for a while in the Hereford pen, but that's, the way I'm planning it anyway. So we've got 2 more wagons of feed to haul here, so we'll get those taken care of. And we definitely need to consider upgrading our feed wagon very, very soon here. And now we're feeding our Holstein fat cattle lot. You can see it's got quite a few head in here. And they're, definitely in all different sizes currently. There's some that are big, some that are still little. But we've got a few months yet before we have any that are ready to be sold. And like I said, there's already 3 females in here. And I've got for sure 1 more, maybe 2 more to put in here yet. But yeah, everybody otherwise is very healthy and doing quite well. So I'm very happy with that. And we're going to have quite a few head to sell this year. And that's definitely a good thing, if we were just row cropping, I don't think we'd actually survive. I think the reason we're doing as well as we are is very specifically because we have multiple different streams of income off of this farm. So I'm definitely not going to be getting rid of the cattle anytime soon. They are absolutely a necessity for us moving forward and not losing this farm and going bankrupt. All right, and last but not least is our Hereford fat cattle pen. You can see some of them have grown quite a bit. Got a couple of little ones yet, but they should be growing here in a couple of months. We've got quite a while yet before any of them are ready to be sold as fat cattle. But thankfully, everybody is doing quite well and is quite healthy, so we're doing very, very good in the cattle department. Unlike some of the other animals that we've tried to have on this farm. I think we've got the cattle pretty well dialed in. All right, that is the last of the feed we needed to haul for this month, so we'll go ahead and get this put away and jump in the semi and go ahead and haul our milk into town. All right, we've got 4,167 gallons of milk on here, and this is 2 months worth because, like I said earlier, I was a moron and completely forgot to sell milk last month. Thankfully, that is the first time with the cattle milk that I've done that. And I'll try really hard to make sure I don't do it again. But we're going to get this into town, get it sold at the creamery, and adjust the price accordingly. All right, we're getting pulled in at the creamery here, so we'll go ahead and get this milk sold off. All right, and we need to pull back $1,200. All right, so that puts us at $32,386. I'm very, very happy with that. So we've got all of our cattle chores done now, so we run it back home and get ready for our first time harvesting in these new fields as we're going to start with soybeans. All right, we're just getting pulled into the field here. Just try and catch up to the combine, see where they're at, see how they're doing. Got both of them rolling out here in the field. I'm very, very happy about that, and it's almost 9 a.m., so I'm curious to see how fast two combines can, get this field hammered out here. So, this is all kind of new for me. I've never really run course play before, so this should be very interesting, to say the least. Now, the combines do have the same size header, should be running about the same speed. So everything should go well, I hope. But this is going to definitely be a learning experience for me. So hopefully everything goes well. But definitely not. I'm definitely a little nervous. Let's put it that way. But so far everything seems to be going well. First combine's made it to the first corner and around, and everything's going well there. So I'll catch up to you guys whenever we get our first combine at least close to full here and see how far around the field they make it. I don't know if they'll make it a full headland pass or not. All right, we did not quite make it a full headland pass here before we had to unload. And I'm pretty okay with that. Everything's looking pretty good here. Other than, we're a little close to the header. Not a fan of that, but at least we made it to a good point where we could unload on the go here and not have to worry about stopping the other combine that's behind us. So we'll get spun around here because I'm sure that one is getting very close to being full as well. Now I'm just going to do this like I did last year. I've got the semi set up over the auger, and I'm just going to run the grain cart back and forth until and hopefully that works. Hopefully I don't need to get the semi out. Not 100% sure, but I should have enough time, especially with this being beans. Now, corn, on the other hand, the combines will definitely fill up a little bit faster. And with me contouring that hill at the home place, I don't know if I'm going to run both combines or not, because I can't set them up to run the contour. At least not this year. I'd have to record the path in order to do that, so I'm not quite sure what we're going to do there, but for now we need to worry about our beans. So looks like basically one headland pass here will give us half a grain cart, so we should be filled in no time and hauling butt back to the home place to get this thing unloaded. And everything should work out. I've got faith that it's all going to work out the way I think it's going to. All right, we're dumping our first grain cart load into the semi, and it's dumping into the bin. And we're definitely not going to be keeping up. Our second combine will for sure be full before I get back. But that's okay. We are, in the field that is the farthest away from the bin site here. And they're not going to have to wait too terribly long. This is pretty quick to unload. Other than I'd never even thought about the fact that I'd have to back in because we don't have the cornfield harvested yet. Whereas last year, that wasn't an issue. There was more than enough room because the end rows were gone. But we'll get back to the field here, get the combines going as soon as we can. And so far, first grain cart load, everything went very, very well. The first combine should just about be done with the end rows by now. And starting into the, main bulk part of the field here. All right, we're dumping our second grain cart load already. Things are going quite well. Our end rows are done in the field, and the combines are starting to do the up-down passes here. So hopefully I get back in time this time. I think having the one combine stopped for a bit might have spaced them out far enough that I'll have time to get one unloaded before the other one gets full when I get back. But we're definitely going to be cutting it close. But this is definitely going way better than I had hoped it would. I was definitely nervous, but things are going absolutely perfect so far. All right, as you can see, both combines are rolling still. And this is the only one with his beacons on, so that's a good thing. That means we caught up, and neither one of them actually stopped harvesting. So I'm very happy with that. Like I said, I think we got the spacing just about right here. So we'll go ahead and get this guy unloaded, get the next one unloaded, and it's, about 3 combine loads is what it takes to get us full. So I'll catch up to you guys here after a bit and see how things are rolling. All right, we have our first field finished up here. And we've got the combines rolling in the second field. We ended up with 156,040 liters, or 4,427 bushels off our first field. I'm pretty happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and get this second field hammered out here. Things are going pretty well. Taking a little bit longer than it probably should have because I'm making some adjustments and trying to figure this out still, so going a little slow, but all in all, things are going quite well, and I'm very, very happy with where we're at so far. All right, and this is our first grain cart off of this field, full grain cart, I should say, and we're just about, 3/4 of the way around the field for the end rows here, or headlands, however you want to say it. So yeah, this field is definitely yielding quite well. And should go pretty fast. It's a little bit narrow and very long rows, so should be able to cover a lot of ground very quickly. Well, we'll go ahead and get this delivered into the bin and hopefully get back before one of the combines ends up full. All right, we've got 303,986 liters in our bin. We're done with our beans, and that, if we take the 156,040 liters that we had from the first field, that gives us 147,946 liters for our second field, which converts to 4,197 bushels. So that gives us a grand total of 8,624 bushels of beans for this harvest. Pretty happy with that. Now we'll go ahead, get everything switched over and ready to run corn. And I can't wait to see how much corn we get off of our big field. Our little field, obviously won't be a whole lot, especially since we chopped in it, but I'm very, very excited for this big cornfield. So we'll go ahead, get everything switched over, get the combines ready to roll in the cornfield, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get started. All right, as you can see, we got both combines rolling here. They're not going to run the entire field. I have no idea how to set up to, for them to combine that contour that I did. So I'll end up contouring that myself, but I can run them for the end rows, and once the contour's done, I'll probably just go ahead and set them back up to run their normal course again. But you can see they're definitely doing a weird thing with straw swath. One's dropping a normal straw swath, and the other one's only seems to be dropping like a half. I don't know what's going on there, but we're going to do the straw swath across the entire field. I need to get a lot of corn stalk bales. That way, A, we need them for bedding, and B, obviously I need to sell as many stock bales as I can this year. As, we are only at $30,000, and we have a lot of bills to pay, so every bale counts, and every bale I can get, makes a difference. But I'll be curious to see how far we can get here before the grain cart fills up for the first time. It looks like this lead combine here is already getting close to needing to be emptied, so that's a good thing. That means we're going to get a big yield and have a lot of corn to sell here in the near future. Alright, well, we only made it about 3/4 the way around. Maybe, I don't even know if it's that much. Maybe slightly more than halfway around our first headland pass before we got filled up here. So that's a great thing. That means we're going to have a crazy amount of corn. Problem is, I'm definitely not going to be able to keep up with 2 combines. There's just no way I'm going to be able to keep up, but that's okay. At least we're going to be able to harvest faster than with just 1 combine. And, it's definitely going to keep me busy, that's for sure. So once we get down to the end here, I probably should have left myself a little bit of headland here just to be able to drive around, but oh well. I wanted the extra acres for planting, so this is going to work out just fine. But by the time we get down to the end, I'm guessing the combine behind me will probably be full and stopped. So, yeah, trying to keep up is definitely going to be a losing battle. But I'm here for it, I'm ready for it, and I'm definitely very, very excited for it. Alright, well, thankfully, this corner around the bend slowed them down enough that neither one of them actually got full, so I was able to catch up. So we'll go ahead and grab what this combine has left on it, and then we can grab what the back combine has, and we should be good. This little janky corner here definitely saved us on this go-around. Alright, we are ready to go ahead and start opening up this contour on the field. So we'll go ahead and dive in here. Hopefully I'm somewhat close to where I'm supposed to be. I believe I am, so we'll go ahead and get this contour opened up here. And then I'm going to go ahead and run the ridge. And then hopefully by the time we're done with all of that, I can get both combines rolling again down here in the flat bottom. And catch up on, the time that we're going to miss here only running 1 combine, since I have no idea how to set up multiple combines to run something like this. Alright, well, as you can see, I got all of the contour opened up here, and I went ahead and hired up the combines again on workers. Make sure that we can catch up a little bit on time here, as it is starting to get later in the afternoon. And they're not going to run exactly how I planned the ridge, but it's going to be really close. So they're going to run all of the essentially straight rows here, and I'm just going to run the grain cart. We ended up getting 2 full grain carts off of just doing the contour here on the side hill. So I'm really happy with that. But we'll go ahead and get the combine in here and see how much longer this field's going to take. And we still have the north field across the highway here. So we've got a lot of combining to do, but you know what? I'm pretty happy with where we're at. Our first grain cart here, not quite full, but it's pretty close. So we'll go ahead and get this dumped off since we are right down here by the grain bin anyway. But so far, going very, very well. I'm very happy to have both combines running again. That is for sure. So we'll just keep trucking right along here. I'm guessing it's going to take probably another couple hours yet just to get this field finished, and then we have, you know, our other fields. So not sure if we'll get our baling done this month. It may end up happening in the month of November. So I am going to go ahead and rake up all of the corn stalks here, because the rake is big enough to pick up 2 of the swaths and combine them into one. And that'll save us a little bit of time on the baling part of this. But that's more just so I'm not running around the field, you know, 1,000 times with the baler. I don't know if it's really going to make a difference. Probably going to cost me more time in the end. But just for baling, just to keep it simple, that's the way I'm going to do it. But yeah, everything's going quite well, so waiting on the combines to come back down here. They'll have that ridge finished up probably in the next grain cart. If not, it'll be the next 2. And it'll just be them working on the bottoms here. Alright, we are just a shade over halfway done with this field, and we've got 303,870 liters in the bin already. That is incredible. Very happy with it. We'll go ahead and jump up here into build mode. And you guys can see we've got a lot of long rows left here, but things are going quite well. I'm very, very happy with where we're at. And you can see where we contoured. Looks very good. And yeah, them running just straight back and forth has worked out quite well. I've already started doing a little bit of raking, getting some of these areas combined in together here. But it looks like we have a combine that is full, so we need to get back in the grain cart here and get out to it and get caught up. So things are going quite well. Very happy with where we're at, and really no complaints here. This big field is going very well, and it's pretty exciting getting, you know, this much corn out of one field here. All right, we have our big field officially finished. Got our new combine already rolling in the home north field, and we've got 476,068 liters in our bin here for corn. So I'm super happy with that. Our yield was absolutely fantastic. Definitely going to make plenty of money this year to cover all of our bills. So I'm very, very happy with that. Now I'm going to go ahead and finish up the harvest in the north field here. Finish up raking our corn stalks in the home place field here. And that's probably going to be it for this month, as it is almost 5 o'clock already. So I'm hoping we can get all of this done before it gets dark tonight. But, you know, who knows? So we'll go ahead, finish up this harvest, and, yeah, hopefully get, you know, maybe, I think another 100,000 would be pushing it, but since we already chopped out of that field, but, you know, maybe we can get another 50,000, 60,000 liters yet. That would be absolutely fantastic. So, like I said, we'll go ahead and get this harvest finished up here and see where we end up at the end. All right, it is about 6:30 in the evening, and we finally finished up our harvest. What a long day. But it went very, very well. I'm happy with the way things went. We got a lot accomplished. And we ended up with 553,071 liters of corn in our bin. And that translates over to 15,690 bushels of corn. Very, very happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and call it a night, and I will see you guys in the morning, as we have a lot of field work to do. We've got baling to do. So we are far from done with our fall field work here. But yeah, I'll see you guys in the morning. Welcome into November, everyone. As always, we're starting the morning off getting our chores done. We've got 5 loads of feed we got to get hauled here. So we're going to get those knocked out, get our milk sold. Then we need to get straight into finishing our raking for our corn stalks, and then baling. And then we've got manure and slurry to get spread, cultivating to do, and probably not enough time to get it all done this month. But that's okay. We have all winter and spring to get this stuff done, so not a big worry. As long as we get our chores done and the baling done this month, everything else will be pretty much smooth sailing. Alright, we've got 2,822 gallons of milk on. So we'll run into the creamery, get this sold off, and adjust the price accordingly. Alright, we're down here at the creamery. We'll go ahead and get this milk sold off here. And we need to add $200. So that puts us at $19,729. So we'll head back to the home place, get the rake hooked up, and start raking our corn stalks so we can get them baled. Alright, we got all of the raking done, so we're now ready to start baling our corn stalks. So we'll get this thing fired up, get it dropped down, got our bale counter reset, and I'm guessing we're going to have, probably somewhere around 200 bales. That's my guess, so we'll definitely have to refill our bale net once, maybe twice, but it's definitely going to be a lot of bales coming off of this field. Maybe 200 might be a stretch. These are 7,500 liter bales, so maybe closer to 150. Alright, we got all of our baling finished. We ended up with 202 stock bales. So we're going to go ahead and get the baler drug back to the home place here, get it all cleaned up and put away for the winter. We'll also go ahead and give the 1586 a bath, because it is in desperate need. As you can see, it is quite filthy. And then we can go ahead and start getting all of these bales picked up. Once that's done, we've got a lot of field work we got to get done yet this month, and probably won't get it all done. Definitely going to be some field work in the month of December yet, so. But we'll go ahead and get what we can done, and I'll catch up to you guys once we get all of these bales picked up. Alright, well, we've got all of our bales picked up, and I've got Grandpa in the 4786 spreading slurry. I'm in the 7250 here spreading manure, and we're going to cover as much ground as we can before we start having to cultivate, and we're starting as far away from the main farm as we can with our fields, and we're going to work our way back. So we'll get this all spread out, get to cultivating, and see how far we actually end up getting this month. Not sure, as it is, already noon. I don't know that we'll actually get any cultivating done here in the month of November, but I'm sure hoping we can, because we definitely need it. Alright, we're doing a little check-in here. Things are progressing quite well. The field we're currently in is almost done. We're getting real close here. We are running low on manure, though. So I think we'll have enough to finish this field, but we're definitely not going to have enough to do, our big field or home north. So that's going to be a bit of an issue. We'll probably have, no probably about it. We're definitely going to have to buy some solid fertilizer, which is unfortunate, but, a part of expanding as much as we have, not a surprise. As you can see, Grandpa is hooked up to the cultivator now and running in this field. And we are officially out of slurry, so had him hook up to the cultivator so he can start cultivating this field. And I hired another worker, and I can't see him. I'm not sure where they're at. But in that far south field, and they're cultivating with 1586. I didn't know if it would have enough, oomph to pull the cultivator, but it seems to be working, so I'm pretty happy with that. So I'll go ahead, finish spreading manure in this field, get whatever last little bit that we have left started in the big field, and then we're going to be switching over to our solid fertilizer. So I'll catch up to you guys here in a little bit as we continue progressing, but things are going quite well, as it is only 1 o'clock in the afternoon, and we've gotten, honestly, more cultivating done than I thought we would. All right, well, we are officially out of slurry and manure. So I went ahead and bought a fertilizer cart load of fertilizer here, and that's about $950. So that's awfully expensive to be spreading out in our big field. So I'm going to leave that until spring, and we will, produce more slurry and manure throughout the winter. So hopefully that'll cover, if not the whole field, a good portion of the field. So that's what I'm going to, kind of bank on and hope for. So I'm going to go ahead and spread dry fertilizer in this small field. This cart should cover probably all of it, if not a little more. Depending on how much we have left, I might take some, down into the big field and just get a little bit covered at least. But we'll go ahead and finish up all the cultivating in these 3 fields. And I won't do any cultivating in the big field until, we get all of our slurry and manure spread. So that is going to be it for the month of November. Now I'll catch up to you guys in December when we sell off some of our bales and do our normal December chores here. Welcome into December, everyone. We've got 4,421 gallons of milk on our trailer here. So we're going to go ahead and get this run into the creamery and get it sold and adjust the price accordingly. And also, as we drive by here, you're going to see all of these fields are cultivated. So it's been quite a while since I've actually spread dry fertilizer in the game, and I completely forgot how far it'll actually go. So that one cart was more than enough to get both the home north field and the home place done. So they are completely fertilized, and I still have fertilizer left over, believe it or not. That was kind of crazy. Didn't think it would go that far, so we ended up doing all of our field work last month, and I really hadn't planned on that. So, that's great. We're a step ahead, which is always nice. But, also didn't get a lot recorded because I set a worker to spread that fertilizer, thinking, they'll just run that cart out, no big deal, and went and did something else, and when I came back, the field was done. So, my apologies for not getting more recorded there. But this month, we've got milk to sell, and we're going to sell off some of our stock bales and hay bales. Right now, crop prices are not great, so we're going to hold off, hopefully this summer, get a better price. But for now, we're just going to hold on to our corn and soybeans. And that is, my plan moving forward here. But we'll go ahead, get this milk sold off. All right, we need to take $380 off. All right, so that puts us at $22,344. That was very good. Our milk production is up on, for the year here. Usually seems to be we're at our highest production in the winter months, so that's very good. That more than covered all of our monthly expenses, so very, very happy with that. Now we'll go ahead and head back, get some bales loaded up, and get those run down to the bale sale here and get them sold off. All right, we've got a trailer load of bales here. We'll get this run down there. And I guess I forgot to mention, I've already done all of our chores for today. Got all the cattle fed. And I've set a full trailer load of bales over here by our silo to make sure we have enough to get through the winter here to feed our cattle. So the rest of the hay bales will get sold. Not all of the stock bales will get sold because our big barn is going through more than what the barn will hold for a year. So we will have to continue feeding that barn stock bales throughout the year, which is fine. Not a big deal at all. So we'll set, it won't be a whole lot, probably 5 to 10 stock bales off to the side that we'll keep throughout the year. And we'll sell the rest of those. So we've got a lot of bales to get sold this month. And I'm pretty excited. It should make us a lot of money here. All right, we're down here at the bale sale, so we'll go ahead and get these sold. And it looks like we had a couple that fell off. Not a surprise. We'll go ahead and get those picked up. All right, after doing the math here, we got to take $6,771 off. All right, so that puts us at $26,244. So I'll head back to the home place here and reload multiple times, and I'll catch up to you guys when we get all of the hay sold off here. All right, we're down here at the bale sale with our last load of hay, and this is load number 10. So we'll go ahead and get this sold off here. Thinking maybe backing up will work a little better, and it certainly did. So we need to take $6,729 off. So that puts us at $60,243. Very, very happy with that. So we're going to head back to the home place here, and now we can start selling off our stock bales. So we've got quite a few loads of corn stock bales we need to get sold off here. And like I said earlier, I will set, 5, 10-ish, somewhere in that area off to the side for us to use throughout the year, and we'll sell the rest. All right, we're down here at the bale sale, so we'll go ahead and get these stock bales sold off here. And we need to pull back $7,476. All right, so that puts us at $62,193. So we'll run back to the home place, reload, and make this, round trip a few more times here, and get all of the stock bales sold off. So I'll catch up to you guys when we're on our last load. All right, we're down here with our last load of stock bales, so we'll go ahead and get these guys sold off. All right, and we need to take $7,476 off. All right, that puts us at $75,159. I am very, very happy with where we're sitting financially right now. That is absolutely fantastic. So we've got some decisions to make here this winter on what we want to do with this money. We can hold on to it. We can maybe make some equipment upgrades, possibly buy some more land. I'm not sure yet. I'm going to have to think on that. But we're going to go ahead and call this an episode. So if you guys like what you're seeing, please make sure you like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell so you never miss an episode.